Inhale, hold the breath, apply root block, squeeze everything and just send it up. Keep holding the breath. And exhale, shake it out. So now we're just going to tune in with Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this is a mantra to call upon our higher selves and teacher, wherever that teacher may be. We'll bring our hands with the right hand over the left to the heart center. Breathe in the light of the sun. Inhale, hold the breath, apply root block. Hold this light. And exhale. So we're going to focus today on how to create a sleep sanctuary. So we're going to do a lot of exercises to activate the lunar or the feminine side. So there's two major forces. There's the sun or the male, which is in the right side of the body, and then there's the mother or the moon energy, which is in the left. So we're going to do a very simple pranayama, which is a breathing exercise, which is great to do before you go to bed. So you don't want to eat before you're doing any pranayama, so before you go to bed, you shouldn't really be eating a couple hours at least before you hit the hay. So you can just sit on, like, if you're going to be on your right side, that's good, and then you can just block off the right nostril, and then you're just going to breathe in and out through the left. Or, I mean, if you're going to do a sitting meditation, you can do that too, but I'm often just like, before I go to bed, I'll just block off the right nostril and then breathe through the left. So we'll do it sitting up with a nice tall spine. The left hand can be in Vya Mudra, just with the thumb touching the tip of the index finger, and the other fingers are relaxed, palms up, right above on top of the knee. And then I just use my right index finger to block off the right nostril. You're going to focus at the third eye, which is right here, or you can keep your eyes 9 times closed and focus at the tip of the nose. And we'll just do this for like a minute. It's real simple. Just let's release that. So you can do that for a minute, 3 minutes, even 11 minutes before you go to bed, and it's just going to really allow you to tap into that relaxed state and allow you to sleep deeply. So that's one really great tool. So I often talk a lot about how to start your day. You know, you start with lemon water, you start with the self-love mirror exercises, affirmations, gratitude, meditation, stretching. So many tips for how to start your day. But equally important is how you end your day. So I'm just going to go over a few tips on how to kind of have a ritual for ending your day. So say you go to bed at 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. I would say at about 8 or 9, just turn off everything. So this would include anything electronic, your laptop, your TV, even lamps actually. So what I would do is start getting some nice candles with like glass containers and just lighting that up, because even this is kind of is an electrical current. So yeah, I would definitely start creating an area that can be in your bedroom without any electronics, because the EMFs are going to affect your ability to produce melatonin, because the light, especially from say a laptop or a television, is basically telling you to stay awake. So for your brain to understand that it's time to go to bed, it needs to be darker and it needs to be quieter. So that's a basic one, which is really easy to start incorporating. So just make sure you're just done with all of your, if you like to watch, you know, some sitcom or do emails or Facebook, just a couple hours before you go to bed, just put that away. Another thing that is important for a sleep sanctuary is to have it be a sanctuary. So what is a sanctuary? Sanctuary is like a peaceful place where there's no stress. So no, it's like a haven, an oasis where you can just go and be completely supported and be at peace. So we want the space to be not associated with anything that's going to cause you stress. So work or anything else. So it's really just for sleep and intimacy. Another really good thing to do is to create that idea of a sanctuary. So just like say you have your meditation altar, you know, you could decorate it the way you want with a candle, maybe a flower, maybe crystals. You can have right by your bedside maybe flowers or crystals that are going to help you sleep well, like rose quartz, a nice candle, maybe with, you know, I like beeswax candles because they help the energy in the room as well. So these are just a few ideas, but make it your own. You know, if you don't like flowers, maybe a plant, maybe, you know, maybe a picture of a giraffe. Something that makes you feel like, oh my God, this is my little sanctuary. You also, just so you have a good night's sleep, you don't want to drink too much right before you go to bed, or else you're going to wake up in the middle of the night and you're going to have to use the restroom. So that is important as well. Let's see. So we go over in the morning kind of like gratitude and what we kind of, how we want to start our day, and that's like the Aleph, the first seed of starting things. Aleph is the first letter in the Hebrew alphabet, so it's like that first thing, that first idea. So we often say we want to start with gratitude. So, you know, I'm so thankful for this new day, and, you know, just name 3 things you're grateful for. And then that's going to start your day on a great path. Well, the same thing before you go to bed, and actually a lot of successful people do this, is you review your day backwards. It only takes about 5 minutes, and you just do it mentally. So say I'm in bed, I'm going to, you know, do my day today. You know, you say, okay, what went well and what didn't go well. And for things that didn't maybe go as well as you could have done it, you say, okay, what could I have done better? So, you know, I don't know, I went to Costco today to get stuff for the studio, to get stuff for myself, and I baked a pie today. I'm a raw food chef. So it went pretty well, but I didn't really make a list. And then there were things I wanted to get, I realized after I left. So I could have made a list maybe. And then when I was making my pie, I didn't have enough coconut oil, so I had to go to the store. I mean, this is really basically this was a pretty non-stressful day. But, you know, little things like that, I could have been better. You know, I think I had a pretty good day. But, or maybe for this workshop, you know, I could have had a candle here to show an example of the sleep sanctuary and not to have lights. So we could have lowered the lights. Something I also did for this room is I created a dimmer switch, which allows the lights to not only be a certain level, but say I'm reading a little bit, and you know, I don't want to do the extreme candle lighting that I'm recommending. So I'm like, you know, let's be realistic. At 9 o'clock to 10, I like to read. So I'm going to have a little lamp, or I'm going to have a dimmer switch. So if you are going to have lighting, because the candle is maybe a little bit extreme for some people, they're not quite ready to do it, you can have a lamp like this that is a little bit more mellow. You can also have a dimmer switch, which I had a friend install. So, because the lighting was just so bright or it was off. So I'll just demonstrate how cool the dimmer is. So we can do something like that. And then maybe I'll light a candle. And then you can have different kind of candle holders which have healing energy. So like this is Himalayan sea salt. So I don't have any matches near me, but this gives a really nice glow. And then this I think is selenite, which I don't remember what the properties. I think it deflects negative energies, which is good to use before you enter a room. But this gives a really cool glow too. So, you know, you can play with different things. I always recommend you have a container for any open flame, just so it's safe. So, you know, and glass is good, or these things are good. Okay, so reviewing your day is a great habit. And let's do one more exercise for really activating the lunar energy. So you can work with sound current. I meditate in the morning. I don't really have a meditation practice before I go to bed, but it's really good to have one. So maybe I'll start. And you want it to be something that's calming. So we're going to work with the sound ma. So this is the seed sound, and ma is the energy of the moon, of the mother, of nurturing. So it's a great sound to do before you go to bed. And people sometimes say, well, I don't have time to meditate before I go to bed, or anytime. So this is just, we're just going to repeat it 7 times. We're going to use our hands like this, middle pillar mudra, and you just do 1 repetition into the other. So we'll just do 7. It's going to go something like this. You don't need this. You don't need this background music. We just need ourselves. So just inhale deeply. So that's another little exercise you can do before you go to bed. So whether it's a long ma or a short ma, just whatever you feel that day, and 1 cycle goes into the next. So you can do that just 7 times. You can do that 3 times, up to 3 times a day, but even once a day. I mean, you know, I don't, like I said, right now I don't have really an evening practice, so I'll start that one. And there's so many tips, right? The going through your day, the meditation, the breathing. So if you even do 1 out of all of these ideas, that's really great. You know, clearing your space of all things that aren't having to do with sleep and intimacy, and just making that sanctuary. So these are just, you know, take one action that you think you're excited about, because really we all know so many things that we need to do, right? But actually taking action and implementing it into a routine and a habit, that's really where the secret lies. It's about your practice and your action. Another good thing to do to create a nice sleep sanctuary and relaxation is to sleep before you go to bed, because that allows your eyes to get tired naturally. So you can, you know, a lot of people don't have time to read as much, but you know, you can make the time right before you go to bed to, as you're trying to fall asleep, read. You know, you can pick up some poetry by Rumi. You can read, you know, something about how to garden, if you want to start maybe a little garden. You know, whatever is interesting to you, or something you have in your house already. So that's great. I do that all the time. I'm like, well, I can't sleep. Well, I'll just pick up a book and start reading. So, you know, I think the light is important. Like I said, taking that out, and then going to bed at the same hour. I mean, I think we all have at times gotten into that off the rhythm cycle where we go to bed a little later, and then our whole cycle's kind of off, and we feel tired all day because we've been going to bed kind of past 3 a.m. So the best thing to do to get out of that is just to nip it in the bud, because it can become a really bad, you just feel off, because we're supposed to go to bed actually when the sun sets, so way earlier than probably everyone is going to bed at right now, and then you're supposed to wake up before the sun rises, right? So that's the natural way to sleep, but most people do go to bed much later. But if you could start going to bed even half an hour earlier, that's great. So say, I'm going to go to bed at 10, and oh my God, that gives you such a nice extra time to sleep, and then your whole next day. I mean, it's like you get to sleep in on the weekends during your week. So, that's just such an easy thing to do to be more productive and feel better. I mean, sleep is one of those things that we forget might be the cause of our imbalance in life. We often talk about our exercise and wanting to lose weight or detox, all these cleanses, and we talk about this and that, but how much are you sleeping? Are you sleep deprived? Are you waking up in the middle of the night? Are you worried? So all of these factors are going to contribute to your stress levels and how productive you are throughout the day. And this is another tip for not really the evening, but what to do in the day to have a great sleep is to cut out all caffeine and all sugar, so all stimulants basically. So our adrenals often get adrenal fatigue. So what that means is you're constantly telling your body, okay, I'm giving you caffeine, which is a stimulant, right? And sugar, which is a stimulant. And then you're crashing. And your adrenals are having to deal with this, and over time, if you abuse that, they're just done. You get fatigued and they shut down. So the best way to restore your adrenals is just to simply let them rebalance themselves by no longer giving them these external stimulants. And often you'll feel very tired when you first do this, especially if you, I'm not so much a caffeine person, but I definitely used to intake like sugar and candy bars and just sugar left and right. So when I first did it, it was really hard for me, and you start craving the sugar. I think I was in France one time I did it, and I used to eat their pastries every morning, and I started the cleanse, and I was like, I just want my eclair, I just want like this. And I was like, almost like yeah, just, you really feel it. It is a drug. So if you can do that, I know it's hard, I did it myself, and you're going to be like, I'm just so tired. You can do green tea. I know that still has caffeine, but it's a little bit better than like espresso or the stronger caffeine. So if you can't do everything I'm saying, like, okay, let me try using agave or stevia or honey, a little bit like other kind of, not quite like high fructose corn syrup, but something a little bit, still a sweetener. I don't think those are sugars, but I know agave has some I've heard negative things about it. But, and then in terms of caffeine, maybe switch to tea, yerba mate, or green tea, or if you're gonna do caffeine, like say you're like, I just need my morning coffee. I mean, I remember needing caffeine. I used to work with kids. I was like, there's no way I'm gonna survive this shift without some caffeine. So I understand that, and if you're going to need to do it, just maybe after, say, 2 p.m., no more caffeine. Because if you're giving yourself caffeine, say at 4 o'clock, right, you get that afternoon kind of slumpy feeling, then believe me, you're not going to be able to fall asleep naturally at, say, 9 or 10, because there's still caffeine kind of pumping in your system. So those are 2 tips. You can also really eat your big meal in the morning and at lunchtime, and then really in the evening, eat lightly. So you can just have like, fruit or, something light, like a soup. And then, say that's your 7 o'clock meal. Then it's light, and then you're not digesting while you're sleeping, so that your body can fully rest while it's sleeping, instead of having to say, oh, I had steak and potatoes, and then I had dessert after that. And if you're going to do like a sugar thing, say you're doing like cheesecake or fruit, don't have it after a meal, but have it as its own meal. I make raw food. I said I made a raw food today, and there's tons of agave in it, and you know, it's still good to enjoy life. So say you're gonna have your dessert. I mean, I sometimes have that as its own thing. So say at 5 o'clock, you're done with work, you're like, you know what, I'm gonna treat myself. Just have yourself whatever you want, like a Haagen-Dazs or your raw chocolate pie or your cheesecake. I love cheesecake, whatever you want to have. But then after you say you have a meal, your dinner, don't have something after that, because then you're like really mixing the digestive world. So just have, you know, your moment on its own. So those are a few tips for how to create a sleep sanctuary, and they work. I definitely have used them all, and gosh, it would be great to do them all at the same time, but it's okay if you only do a few at one time, and then, you know, another time you say, okay, I'm gonna really focus on reviewing my day, and another time you're gonna do like a 30-minute meditation before you go to bed. So I'm gonna just add a little bit. Now we're gonna switch gears and talk about our dream world. So I wrote a blog a little bit about dreams at theyogaroomsf, and basically our dream world, it's mysterious, we don't really understand it, but it's a whole other world. We know that, and you know, it's a vivid world, and it really allows us to understand what maybe we're not facing in our conscious world life, the world that we see and know that we think is real. So this is like a world that we kind of say, oh, you know, but it's a whole other world, and there are messages in our dreams. So a great habit is to start a dream journal. So this was first taught to me. I was studying Kabbalah in Boulder, and the rabbi started telling us to do it. So that was the time when I really, really, really did it. And it takes a lot of time. Like, I don't know if you know Julia Cameron's book, The Artist's Way. It's kind of a famous book for artists. And she says, do your morning pages. So you wake up and you just write for 3 pages. So I did that for many times. And I think it's easier for a lot of people to do things in the morning. So this is another morning one. So this is basically, it's a separate journal just for your dreams. And you have to do it right when you wake up. So sometimes you wake up in the middle of the night, right? Or you wake up and then you want to go back to sleep. So this takes a lot of discipline. But right away, because you sometimes remember your dream, but then you'll forget it, right? It happens to us all. You have to write your dreams right away. So this is a journal that takes time. So it takes, you know, I did it then, I remember, and a lot of stuff will come out in your dreams. You know a lot. We talk a lot about in Kabbalah how it's in your body, it's not in a book, it's in your heart. Well, the dreams, that's like once you start looking into your dreams, you're going to get a lot of jewels. So all I can say, I'm not going to tell you too much. I just really, really encourage everyone to do it. So get a separate journal, nice pen, right by your bed, right by your flowers, pictures of giraffes, and right away. I know it takes dedication. So if you're going to do that, then in the morning, then maybe you're not going to do, you know, your morning mirror, you know, 5-minute I love you exercise from Louise Hay, which I am a big fan of. Or maybe you're not going to do, you know, an hour meditation in the morning, because you know, you have to do all the things you have to do. So you have to focus on what you want to do at a certain time. But if, you know, the sleep sanctuary and really remembering your dreams is something you want to do right now, it's great, especially if you've never done it. So we're going to put this on Facebook, this video. So we're going to have a workshop on Thursday, which is coming up, March 5th, which is the full moon. And it's going to be a beautiful circle here at the yoga room with candles, no lighting, and really coming together to create that intention of creating peaceful, restful sleep. You deserve it. It's your birthright to wake up and not need coffee, to wake up because you're energized because you got enough sleep. And I mean, this is kind of 101, but how do you wake up energized? You need to give yourself enough time to sleep. A lot of times we're just sleep deprived. Like we went to bed at midnight and then we wake up at 6. We have to go do our thing, And so to compensate for the lack of sleep, we'll have caffeine and we'll make ourselves push ourselves, and we keep pushing ourselves. But really what you needed to do was go to bed by 10 so that you got your 8 hours. So how many hours do you need? It depends. A good way to know is, say you're on vacation, after about a week, your body has balanced out from the stress of life, and then when you naturally wake up without an alarm, that's your time. So some people it might be 6 hours, some people it might be 10 hours. On average, it's between 7 and like 8.5. So I'm at about 8.5, I think. So, you know, if you really want to be naturally rested, you need to give yourself that time. So that's pretty simple, but a lot of people don't do it. You know, they don't think it's important. We think we're more powerful than our bodies, but our bodies, sooner or later, it's going to catch up to you. You know, the stress of that you're putting on your body. It's just, you know, cause and effect. So it's very important. Give yourself, your body, the rest that it needs. And I hope that everyone can come. It's a full moon, and the full moon on Thursday is a great time to really release which isn't serving you and to heal. So you can heal whatever's in your past, any bad habit, you know. Maybe you do everything wrong. You eat, I mean, I've done that. Eating, you're late, snacking really late, and Netflixing, and before you know it, you know, it's late. And, you know, we've all, I think, you know, no one's perfect. And moderation in everything, including moderation. So that's fun. But let's, you know, know that that's not what's healthy, and to, you know, come together and we can release the past, because that's just the past, and make the future your reality. So we need to, what do we want? You know, we're going to want that restful, energized, full day vitality from your natural chi, your natural jing, and your natural shen to be brilliantly, gloriously bright. And you're going to nurture it, you know. So thank you so much. Let's tune out with a meditation for a few moments. Sound is the mother of light, and we'll just do Satnam. So Satnam. So we're just going to bring our arms up and set up Shakti Mudra with the index fingers touching and the thumbs crossed. And the shoulders are down and the elbows are straight by your ears. You focus with the third eye. And we're going to chant Sat. And then, so there's a little bit of that Mulyana Bandha of lifting up. It's like a nice squeezing of a lemon. And then you just release it up. So it's activating in your creative chakra, and we're transmuting the sexual energy into creative, spiritual, highest potential. So it's a great meditation. You do just 3 minutes a day. And this is by Dr. Lavery. It's from Bhakti Nam, available at rootlight.com. Sat Nam 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 Sat Inhale. Tight, tight, tight. Hold the breath. Inhale a little more. Keep holding the breath. And exhale. Wow, that felt amazing. I'm ready for bed. How about you? So thank you so much for watching. And we hope to see you soon at the Yoga Room, 116 Clayton Street, here in beautiful San Francisco between Hayes and Grove. Beautiful lighting, and in the evening, beautiful stars. You have the best day ever, as David Wolf would say. Thank you so much, and Sat Nam.